I just gotta tell you guys, we have Twitch emotes. So if you want to use these, please go check out my Twitch, link in the description. It takes you 2 seconds to go down there and press the follow button and sub offline if you want to. Look at these adorable emotes. Only 3 of them can be used right now. These 3, woo! The rest of these cannot be used right now because we only have 3 emote slots. So if you would like to use these adorable emotes, please go press the follow button and sub if you really want to. And we just have the brand new ones come in too. Cocopium, Tepe, and Yaimiko emote that I would love for y'all to be able to use, but unfortunately we can't right now because we only have 3 emote slots. Very copium. So please, go follow my Twitch. Thank you! On to the video. Hey everyone, it's me, the Otaku Fago here to continue my Fate Grand Order Lostbelt 3 Let's Plays. Oh boy, I don't remember what was happening last time, but that's okay. We're just gonna jump into it, we're gonna have fun, and yeah. Pog. Poggy, Woggy, Froggy, Doggy. Alright, what are we fighting? Sabers and Riders. Okay, Sabers are weak to Archers. We'll try it and see what happens. This is fine. This is fine. Section 7. Qin Shi Huang. I probably butchered that, but it's okay. There we go. Man, of all the ways that for the Emperor to obtain immortality, that one just didn't even occur to me. Oh yeah, didn't they reveal that in the last part or something? I don't quite remember, but... So after finding Nezha's remains in the Shang Dynasty ruins, the Emperor must have worked out some sort of cybernetics breakthrough way back in the BC era. No wonder the technology in this Lostbelt is so topsy-turvy. So the Emperor must have abandoned the Zhenren's aspirations and found a way to obtain immortality another way. Zhenren? Or how the fuck you say that? The Zhenren were Taoist mountain sages, or hermits if you like, who sought eternal youth. They also perfected their bodies, thereby achieving eternal youth and life. In proper human history, the first emperor of Qin attempted to become one such Zhenren through a immortality elixir made with Chinese alchemy. But as it happened, repeated long-term use of this elixir only resulted in fatal mercury poisoning. Alchemy has always been a great deal more trial and error than success, no matter where it was practiced. But in this Lostbelt, the same emperor must have given up on alchemy in favor of technology based on Nezha. Well, Prince Nezha's body was still created by a Zhenren, so it's not as though that represented too big of a divergence from the path. But the decision surrendered human form and grant only the mind only the mind immortality cannot have been made lightly. From there, if the Emperor was able to stamp out all dissent in the rest of China and continue ruling the resulting empire at the height of its power. Conquering the rest of the world seems only a matter of course. Yes, well, as a mage, I can't say I approve of that, but I am glad this emperor turned out to be such a reasonable fellow. Indeed, this was a most unexpected development. I never would have guessed that a Lostbelt's ruler would sever ties with his cryptor in favor of negotiating with us. Cryptor? I always say cryptor, whatever. Whatever it's called. That said, what do you make of the request to examine the Shadow Border in exchange? It's definitely a risk. I mean, we didn't so much as tell the other Lostbelt factions that Zero Sailing is even a thing. The Russian and Scandinavian Lostbelts both seem to have their hands full with their own affairs. But China is different. Quite so. This empire is under the impression that the rest of the world is part of its domain, and that the storm is responsible for severing their ties to the rest of the land. They see the situation as unprecedented disaster, much like we did with the proper human history being wiped out of existence.
I wonder what they'd think if they saw the world outside their Lostbelt.
I guess they'd be pretty distraught.
Yeah, their potential reaction is key. There are several Lostbelts, but only one Earth. It's a recipe for the biggest, crappiest game of musical chairs ever. Since there's no way for all these different civilizations to coexist. Instead of existing in parallel worlds, they all have to fight to exist on the same Earth. So the Lostbelts that aren't preoccupied with just scrapping by are eventually going to have to fight others if they want to expand their territory any further.
Didn't Kishitara say everyone's trees would be fighting?
So the Cryptors, Team A, are competing with each other at the same time they're fighting proper human history. Why would Kishitara choose this?
I don't know, Mash. We have insufficient evidence to come to any conclusions about his motives, so let us leave that aside for now. The salient point at the moment is that all the Lostbelts will eventually be competing with each other for survival.
Right, and while proper human history may be at a disadvantage with all its territory gone, there's still one thing we have that the Lostbelts don't.
Of course, the Shadow Border! And because of that, we're still the only ones, with the ability to zero sail between Lostbelts as we please, but if one of the Lostbelts had the border, they'd have a serious leg up over the others, huh? Damn, can't believe this Qin Shi Huang was thinking that far ahead. Indeed, though all this assumes that China does indeed have all the other nations under its rule. Then once Qin Shi Huang ventures into the Lostbelt, the first move they make will be to go on the attack against the other Lostbelts rather than Chaldea. This could be our big chance to swoop in while the other sides are weak from fighting each other and take the prize for ourselves. I'm afraid not, Mr. Gordoff. The outcome we need to be concerned about is Qin Shi Huang gaining an overwhelming advantage thanks to the Shadow Border's technology, and going on to claim the entire planet as their own.
Right. If that happens, we'll be responsible for creating the biggest threat to restoring proper human history ourselves. And there's no way to tell how it'll play out until we open the lid on this figurative Pandora's box.
So no matter what we do, we're taking a big risk. There is also the possibility that we may become the collateral damage when the Lostbelts begin to battle one another in earnest. Still, while we cannot rule that outcome out indefinitely, whatever, it's far enough away that we can worry about it later. In the meantime, our most pressing concern by far is finding an antidote for Director Gordoff and Miss Sarah. True. Yes, exactly, Holmes. I always knew you had a kind heart deep down underneath your gruff detective exterior. Well, I guess we can't deny that Tubby here is in trouble. If they really do hand Kaya over as promised, does that mean we'll have one less thing to worry about? Well, in one sense, yes, but having Kaya as a prisoner will create other, very serious problems. If anything, only further raises the question of how we go about settling matters in this Lostbelt.
And then there's the fact that we still can't find his Tree of Emptiness.
Indeed. I was surprised to learn that not even whatever knew about it.
Does that mean that HINAKO doesn't know either? What am I saying? Of course she does. I mean, it's her job as a cryptid to protect this world's Tree of Emptiness with her life.
Quite so. Her behavior has been most peculiar from the beginning. Both Kotick and Ophelia have formed alliances with their Lostbelt rulers and shared a goal to expand their territory in the future. But here in China, the only one who seems interested in territory expansion is Qin Shi Huang. It even seemed as though AKUTA was trying to hold Qin Shi Huang back. Yeah, the only thing that seemed to interest her was wiping us out.
That's true. I got the sense that she wanted to dispose of us before Qin Shi Huang started paying attention to the outside world.
I can't tell if she's being reactive or proactive. So hey, this might be a little too late by now, but are we sure it's okay to talk about this stuff in here? I mean, Qin Shi Huang keeps an eye on all of China, right? How do we know the Emperor's not listening in right now?
True.
The thought of the Emperor
Peeping on us from low orbit is more than a little creepy. But the flip side of that is that it's all the Emperor can do. We should still assume that our heat signatures are visible, even with the roof in the way. As far as audio is concerned, the Emperor has mentioned that the quality isn't good, and we can only be heard when we're looking up and raising our voices. I know, because I tried yelling a bunch of obscenities at the Emperor when I was in the cockpit.
So that's what all that stuff was about, old geezers. Cyberpunk and 80s leftovers was. It's funny.
Anyway,
Having the Emperor constantly watching
us at all times will get annoying, so I made this.
What? What is it? What is this, Da Vinci?
A stealth model for your new Mystic Code. I tried modeling it off Robin Hood's No Face May King. Just think of it as a streamlined, portable, bound and field. That's amazing. When did you even have time to make that? Thanks, but it's not really quite as impressive as it maybe sounds. There are a lot of stability issues and other kinks to work out. If the matter levels in the atmosphere are too dense, or it's really hot out, or really cold, it falls apart like a house of cards. So that means it would be pretty useless in the other two Lostbelts we've seen.
I see. When one considers how stable this Lostbelt's environment is, it becomes clear how useful such a module would be here.
Oh, it also focuses on precision over area of effect, so it won't hide you from someone close by. But since we only have to worry about long-range spying here, it should work out perfectly in this case.
What the? Did Zhang Yang just launch something else at us?
Let's go check it out, Master.
Alright, what do we got? Oh, a benefaction! Our village got a benefaction!
Most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor wishes to thank you for your hospitality to our otherworldly visitors. Be grateful for this blessing. Ah, thank you, most glorious and majestic Heavenly Emperor. Thank you! Benefaction. I remember now. They said that's what those rockets are usually used to deliver.
Man, they're so lucky. Can't wait till I'm grown up and get benefactions too. You mean kids never get them? We do, but they usually don't work as well when you're little as when you're grown up. They sure don't for me. Say, wanna try mine? See what they're like? Here you go. It looks like medicine? Yep, it clears your head out and makes you feel really good. It's like a dream come true. You think about weed? Is that so? Give it here! Remember your reputation! Rest assured, And I'm not speaking solely out of personal desire. Don't you think such a drug is worth analyzing? True. This could be some sort of technology unique to this Lostbelt that has no counterpart in proper human history.
I see. So this benefaction isn't money then? Of course not. I doubt this farming village even has a monetary economy. And again, the fact that we've seen so much agriculture,
which is just for economic activity. What if their crops yield tremendous surplus every year without fail?
Is that even possible?
In our world, using methods of agriculture with which we are familiar, no. But things may work differently in this world. I took a look at the wheat they are growing, and it was like nothing I've ever seen. In fact, I can't even be certain it is wheat. All I can say is for certain that it has been heavily modified. Perhaps this seemingly primitive form of agriculture is actually far more advanced than we have been giving it credit for. Even though these farmers don't have so much as a single tractor, perhaps their methods are so advanced they have no need for machines.
Why don't you analyze the wheat along with that shady drug then? You might just learn something.
Cannot say that the wheat is nearly as interesting as the drug. But how about we no longer need to look for Kyle? I suppose I can spare the time. Okay, cool, Pog. Hey, isn't that Quinn Shi Huang's?
Hi there. The engineers just went on break. That vehicle is like your home away from home, right? I'm so sorry you can't use it during our investigation. Are you finding everything to your liking in our camp in the meantime? Oh yes, it's very pleasant here. The air is so clean and fresh too. It's so nice to have a place outside our vehicle where we can relax. We didn't really have that in the other places we've been to. Foo foo! I'm glad to hear it. Oh right, I haven't introduced myself yet. Quinn Liangu, a general of the Empire.
Quinn Liangu. You're from the Ming period, right?
Ming? Oh, right. The history of your own world is entirely different from ours, isn't it? I think they said Quinn's reign ended quickly there, and that numerous other dynasties sprung up in its place. Here in this world, the only emperor I know is Quinn Shi Huang, who has reigned for the last 2,200 years.
That aside, the fact that you are still alive in this day and age is a great surprise to us. And Quinn Shi Huang think you are too, by any chance?
Of course not. I was just permitted to sleep in Mount Li after my accomplishments in Bozu Rebellion. Here in the Empire, any warrior who makes a name for themselves is put to rest in times of peace, and is only awakened again when they are needed.
So you employ cryogenic freezing, and I presume there is no need to keep a standing army here. Was Yan Yu frozen in Mount Li too?
Zhang Yu? Ah, I see. So you call that thing Zhang Yu too? That thing? No, that thing is just a valuable relic. It's the most glorious and Emperor's most impressive accomplishments, which is saying a lot.
It's both the cornerstones of this eternal empire and the monument to it.
It's not a living soldier. You could say it's the ancestor to the mechanical army.
So Quinn Shi Huang's army is composed of those dolls. And you commanders from the past were unfrozen in order to lead them.
Of course. I am also told that the royal guards in Zhenyang are always assembled from soldiers of the current era. I've even heard that some elites have received the instructions of the Sage Arch from Most Glorious, Majestic Heavenly Emperor in person. But Qin Shi Huang has no need to keep a full army on hand at all times. The mechanical soldiers are more than sufficient, and the generals needed to lead them can always be summoned from their quarters in Mount Li. It's been a long time since I was frozen myself. I'm also told there hasn't been any sort of disturbance for the last 100 years.
So you're saying war has been eradicated from this world?
Even when I was a young girl, war was only ever something I read about in history books. I mean, war can only fought in countries, right? But there haven't been any countries besides the our empire for over 800 years. The only reason I took up the spear was to help put down revolts. Blah, blah.
And Huang achieved dominion over the world by the 13th century.
We started implementing gunpowder well before any other country, so no nation was able to oppose us. The discovery of the Fushuang tree was a big help too, as it helped us make huge leaps in our medical science. It's all thanks to the Emperor abandoning his mortal flesh in favor of a holy, undying vessel.
What's the Fusang tree? Fusang? I don't know.
I told us the embodiment of the sage's secrets, a treasure trove of hidden mystic wisdom. Others know it as the Tree of Life. The Emperor discovered it while searching the Sage World for the secrets to immortality.
I am not saying that long name anymore, I'm just gonna say Emperor.
Does that mean that she really did manage to become a sage? No. Emperor had already achieved immortality through the holy vessel before discovering the tree. They say the Emperor chose to remain in metal form rather than ascend to the heavens, because it was a better way to lead the nation. Still, it took over 300 years to complete the search, and it wouldn't have been possible without abandoning the shackles of mortality. In the end, the Emperor decided to use the sage's knowledge of medicine to improve the people's lives. With all manner of disease, hunger, and pestilence eradicated, our soldiers' strength enhanced through elixirs, no other country's forces stood a chance against us.
Sage art-based biochemistry. That reminds me, isn't this a rather unnecessary large plot of farmland for this number of residents?
You think? I suppose everyone does have their hands full during the harvest. But the wheat grows on its own the rest of the time, so it doesn't seem like too much work to me.
Is that so? I do beg your pardon. I merely thought that all this wheat might result in quite the surplus, given how many people live here. Perhaps you take more than half of the harvest as a form of taxation. Taxation, whatever.
Of course, everything the village can't eat is taken to Zhenyang.
Oh, I see. And I suppose Zhenyang must be an immensely populous city.
No, not especially. Aha, now I see. I take it wheat is still only grown for food in your world? Is that not the case here? Wheat is the key ingredient for ethanol, the Empire's most valuable source of energy.
Well, don't I look a proper fool? I was completely taken in by appearances. So this rather mundane-looking wheat field is actually used primarily for growing your fuel source.
I did hear that the world you all come from has a completely different history from ours. I can only speculate, but I gather the world you come from must be a cruel and unforgiving place.
True. What makes you say that? True, though.
Both you and that lady are, I do hope this doesn't offend you, but neither of you look as though you enjoy fighting. have such kind eyes, so much that I can scarcely imagine you in any quarrels to begin with. Foo! And yet, that weapon that young lady carries looks to be so heavy and dense that even the most seasoned of our warriors would have difficulty handling it. What's more, I can tell she wields it as naturally as if it were an extension of her own body. That people such as yourselves have been forced to become adept at combat at such a young age. Well, this says a great deal about how harsh your world must be.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. She got a point. She got a point. Damn, looks like they're gonna party all night, huh? That benefaction must be some real good shit. Indeed. Okay. What's going on, man? This isn't like you. I thought you'd be all up in arms, you know? These poor people, dancing in the meager blessings their pressures denied bestowed upon them, or something. Yes, perhaps under other circumstances I would. But seeing how happy they are right now, it is difficult to find fault in this. Well, that's how it is, huh? It was the pain and starvation I saw many forced to endure that first moved me to rebellion. They were treated more like animals than people. Their smiles in the moments of hard-won victory and freedom were so fragile, so honorable. They were nothing like what I see here now. Now that I think of it, I've never seen anywhere so filled with joy and peace as this village.
Of course not. These sheep don't even know what war is, remember? It couldn't be further from our world.
I had always hoped that the blood of my compatriots and I shed would buy smiles like this. But I never dreamed I would truly get to see them. This world is too perfect for the likes of me. Ain't that the truth? Tell me, O knight, are you sure we should even be here?
You effing kidding me? Why would you even ask? You get along great with these people.
Well, I know, but even so, something continues to feel off. I cannot help but wonder, do we heroic spirits truly have a place on the battlefields of these Lostbelts? I don't know. I guess.
Senpai, are you up?
Having trouble sleeping, Mash?
Yes, I'm afraid my nerves are still frayed from the battle we fought earlier today. I'm glad we survived thanks to Shi Huang interceding, but I'm still too close for comfort.
Why don't we get some fresh air?
Okay, thank you for joining me, Senpai.
Anytime, Mash, anytime.
I see the villagers are still enjoying their festival. I guess the benefactions must be a huge cause for celebration. Holmes said he suspected they might be a luxury good, much like alcohol in our own world.
The fact that it's like a drug makes me a little nervous, though.
Maybe our perspective is off there, since we're used to Holmes' habits. Anyway, looks like they're going to keep the Shadow Border investigation going through the night. I hope Da Vinci will be okay supervising them.
That leaves us with nothing to do for once. Hey, Mash, wanna fuck?
Yeah, it feels like forever since we last had free time to ourselves.
Mash, wanna fuck?
This Lostbelt is really peaceful, isn't it?
Something wrong? Yeah, I was about to say, are you okay?
Senpai, I've seen a world like this before. It was a world of possibilities, united under a single ideal.
Is this new music? Shit. Are you talking about the Temple of Time?
Yes, the King of Mages, Goita, envisioned a history of humanity that was free from strife and suffering. I disagreed with him. There was something about a world completely lacking any pain or adversity that just felt wrong to me. But now, the way people live here seems so close to that world, yet it's still rich with life and the scent of earth.
This music is new, I'm pretty sure.
These people aren't illusions. They're just as real as we are.
But we're still this world's enemies.
Yes, I know. Even after we take Kai into custody and secure an antidote, that won't be the end of it. We can't stop fighting until we find the tree of emptiness and cut it down. And prune this world away like it was originally meant to be. I know this is a rare chance to rest and relax, but when I think about that, I just can't get to sleep.
Ah, Mash, it's okay. It's been so long since we've seen such a beautiful night sky.
Master, get back!
What? What did Nani? Oh, fuck. Fuck! What are you doing here? Would seem I missed my chance. I thought it would be easy to kill you under cover of darkness. I underestimated those who have spent their lives dedicated to the art of war. Even if it would take no more than a single stroke of my sword, I cannot bring myself to sneak up behind and murder someone in cold blood as they admire the beauty of the night sky.
Prince of Lanling! But we've called a truce right now!
No, you and the Emperor called a truce. My master and I agreed to no such thing. As such, tonight, when everyone else had lowered their guard, would have been the perfect chance to end you, Master of Chaldea. Ordinarily, we're like nothing more than those moved by beautiful things to live out their lives in peace and happiness. But now that we have met as enemies, that can never be. I had hoped to end you before you had to feel any need for fear. Forgive me for my incompetence.
Did you really think it would be that easy, servant? Queen Langyu! Did you honestly believe that I would fail to protect our allies in a moment perfect for assassination? Perhaps the true assassin would have been able to elude me, but you? Not a chance. Warriors like you are meant to cross swords on the field of battle, not sulk around in the dead of night. Your master must be grossly ignorant of war to send you on a mission so badly suited to your abilities.
Silence. I will not suffer any insults from my master. Still, now that I have heard such insolent remarks, I feel no need for guilt for drawing my sword. For that, you have my thanks, General. Okay, guess we're fighting you. Oops. Love that. And by love that, I mean I hate that. Okay. Well, we'll do that. Great. Alright, I'm gonna need you to stop. I'm gonna need you to stop that. I'm gonna need you to not do that, please and thank you. Okay, I didn't think you'd kill, obviously. That. Ooh. Do this.
お望みのままに。
はい。
そうです。そうです。
Okay, don't do that.
この辺りいじった方がいいんじゃないか。
Let's
王の話をするとしよう。
お任せください。
just to get MP levels up and also healing because that's a good thing.
星の宇宙に物見の中楽園の端から君に聞かせよう。罪なき者のみ通るのにガーデン・オブ・アバロン。そうです。 この辺りいじった方がいいんじゃないか。お望みのままに。
Let's see what can be done here. Oh god.
何？
Oh, okay. Well, sad, but
王の話をするとしよう。
do that.
星の宇宙に物見の中楽園の端から君に聞かせよう。罪なき者のみ通るのにガーデン・オブ・アバロン。
Oh, my headphones itch sometimes. Okay.
お任せください。
そうです。
Alright, we're good.
お、いいとも。
We're sitting pretty in the city. We're pogs.
そうで
We're
す。
pogging.
どうぞ。
We are pogging right now. Pog, 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 pog. Pog in the comments. Poggy woggy froggy doggy, as Mr. Tectone would say.
この辺りいじった方がいいんじゃないか。君の道行きを信じよう。さあ、行きなさい。
You pop all the skills.
お任せ。夢のように片付けよう。何？何事もやればできるさ。
静まり。
Alright, let's.
小さな窓が。
ご加盟のお任せください。
We'll do that. Pog.
星の宇宙に物見の中楽園の端から君に聞かせよう。罪なき者のみ通るのにガーデン・オブ・アバロン。
How many times do we have to fight this dude?
召喚ゼオン菩薩。私に力を。朝日の輝きを。
Nice. Pog.
どうぞ。よしよし。
Ooh, god. Yikes. Yikes. Okay.
小さな窓がここにも。
Yikes. Big yikes there.
星の宇宙に物見の中楽園の端から君に聞かせよう。罪なき者のみ通るのにガーデン・オブ・アバロン。
Oh, wow. Nice.
どうぞ。よしよし。
Okay.
お任せください。
Increase NPs, please.
そうです。そうです。
Oh, yeah. He's dead, dead.
どうぞ。
Well, he's probably not gonna die, but... Oh, fuck you! What a bitch!
小
Bitch!
さな窓いいとも
お任せください。
What a bitch!
星の宇宙に物見の
But
中
fine.
楽園の端から
Be
君に
that
聞
way.
かせよう。
God.
罪なき者のみ通るのにガーデン・オブ・アバロン。そうです。
That's so annoying.
お任せ。夢のように。
I hate that. Alright, I hate that so much that he did that. Are you kidding me?
我が顔をそれほど望むか。ならば見せよう。呪われし顔を。
It's not cursed, it's beautiful.
死ぬまで歌い続けるために。
I wouldn't say it's cursed, I'd say it's fucking beautiful.
お任せ。夢のように形お任せ。夢のように。
Alright, let's get rid of this dude.
お望みのままに。
Let's get rid of him. Goodbye. I'm sure this isn't the final time we'll fight him, though. Good God, no. Wait, was it the middle? It was still up? I thought it was gone! Fuck you! I thought it was gone! I guess I'm blind. I'm an idiot. It's fine. I guess I'm just dumb. I guess I'm just a dum-dum. Yeah, I know you're not dead. Obviously. No shit, Sherlock, that you're not actually dead. Thank God. I just want to get... Please kill and then kill the other one. Please. Pog. Pog! Thank God. Thank God. Hey, complete all this week's master missions. Woohoo! Save those Saint Quirk fragments for Arjuna Altar this year. Oh God, Arjuna Altar is this year. Okay. Don't even want to think about that right now. I've stalled long enough. Any chance you had a victory is gone, Prince of Lanlang. Quinn Lanyu speaks the truth. Nighttime though it may be, even we are at such a great remove. Cannot help but notice such a tumultuous commotion. We trust you can hear our voice, AKUTA HINAKO. What do you have to say for yourself? Oh boy.
AKUTA. I know you may not understand right now, Your Imperial Majesty, but I promise that everything I've done has been for prosperity of your empire.
Is that so? Then it would seem you indeed have no intention of honoring our wishes. Now then, what to do with you? We doubt the threat of beheading you would be enough to cow you. No, if we are to punish you, then we must take something else away. What? What? Ah yes, I know. Come here, Kuaji Zero. The what the fuck? The what? Okay, you summoned me, Your Imperial Majesty. Zhang Yu? We did rip your core. We did rip your core out of your chest and smash it to Oh! As you wish, Your Imperial Majesty.
Wait! Please wait! I'm sorry, please, anything but that!
Ah, so you are able to plead for forgiveness. You must be quite attached to that machine indeed. Why?
AKUTA? Please, have mercy! I swear I will serve you faithfully from this moment forward! I'll do anything you ask, anything at all! Just please, spare his life!
We will hold you to your word, AKUTA, Hinako. Note that the only reward for defying our will is fear far worse than any mere death.
Yes, Your Imperial Majesty. I swear, I will never go against your wishes again.
Well done, Quinn Lang Yu. You need not concern yourself with that woman any longer.
Understood, Your Imperial Majesty. Lady Sarah, I suggest you return to the camp and retire for the night. Senpai?
Let's go, Mash. What the fuck is that about?
Okay.
What the fuck? Why is she so attached to... I must ask you once again.
Yes.
Who is this Zan Yu you speak of?
To answer that, I will need to tell you another, very different story first.
One where the Emperor died before obtaining the Holy Vessel.
That's right. After the Emperor passed, the quest for immortality was seemingly buried with him. You were no exception, as you were kept hidden away in the Kuaji laboratory. But someone found and reactivated you, a man by the name of Zhang Lang.
What?
He went on to become one of the many people attempting to rule China for himself after the decline of Quid.
Then, in this history, I fell into rebel hands.
Zhang Lang wanted to use your superhuman abilities to further his own ambitions. So he gave you his surname of Zhang, the first G, and the courtesy of the name Yu, and presented you as his nephew, despite knowing you were not actually human.
Okay. True. I was only given my current combat frame long after I was first activated. My original chassis was entirely humanoid.
No one ever suspected that Zhang Lang was lying. The thought simply never occurred to them. The Emperor had based you on Tai Yi Zeiren's creation. A machine advanced as you was beyond anyone's imagination at the time.
Then, I was treated as a person rather than a device.
Given your appearance, no one had any reason to suspect you were anything other than human, regardless of how exceptionally skilled you may have been. In time, future generations will come to know Zhang Yu as one of China's greatest warriors. Yet none of them would ever know your true identity, nor how you were made.
Something is amiss with your claims. If this Zhan Yang person kept my origins and the truth of my creation a secret, how did you come to learn the truth? Who are you, really?
I am just a drifter. One who came to this Lostbelt solely to be reunited with you.
My beloveds, the fuck? Nani? What the fuck? Huh? What the fuck is she talking about?
Huh? Huh?
新年明けましておめでとうございます。今年はどんな出来事が我々を待っているのでしょうか。いえ、何があろうと私は全力を尽くすだけです。今年1年またよろしくお願いしますね、マスター。
Akememashite, whatever the fuck you said, omedetou mashu too, but... okay, so... she's not actually Hinaka. What the fuck? What does she mean? No, seriously, what does she mean by that? I'm confused! Is she a pseudo-sir? No. She could... Huh? What? I'm trying to figure out what she means. Because I have no damn idea. Huh. I got no clue. No clue. No clue. No clue. No clue. No idea. Section 8. Land of Peace. Is it really, though?
Huh. Sounds like you had quite the evening.
Peculiar though this may be, it does present another piece of the puzzle. Unfortunately, it does nothing to make the larger picture any easier to see. We know that the Cryptor's first priority is defending their Tree of Emptiness. And yet, AKUTA has not told this Lostbelt's king of the tree's importance. Furthermore, she moved to eliminate us entirely on her own discretion, only to end up swearing allegiance to Quinn the instant Zhang Yu's life was threatened.
I was taken aback to see AKUTA acting so aggressively when we first came to this Lostbelt.
It's not AKUTA then, right? It can't... I don't know.
But seeing her so scared and flustered was just painful, more than it was surprising. I guess I really didn't know anything about her back when we were both at Chaldea.
Ah, yes, about who she was at Chaldea.
Holmes and I did a little poking around in the data we managed to back up from the server. And her entire background reeks of falsified records. Really?
Indeed, I had to practically hold my nose as we picked apart her disguise. Disguise? Even though she was a member of Chaldea's staff?
Let's see. Imagine her profile as like a painting that's been thoroughly and methodically airbrushed to erase any trace of the original painter.
Correct. There was not a single errant brushstroke, so to speak, to be found anywhere. Then who is she? And what happened to the original AKUTA? Anyone who has lived an ordinary life will inevitably leave behind a bit of useless information about him or herself along the way. And yet, there was nothing of the sort to be found in AKUTA HINAKO's data. It was as though her entire life story was designed to pull the wool over someone's eyes. You mean like a perfect alibi? Precisely. That is just the sort of introduction I was looking for, my dear Watson.
So the fact that nothing in her personal information is strange also means nothing in it is real? Yep. There's basically nothing even remotely human about her entire background. And even that's not the only obviously suspicious thing we ran across.
According to her profile, Marsbury Atmosphere brought her to Chaldea, supervised her aptitude test, and oversaw her periodic health exams and interviews personally. Seems every bit of data about her was submitted with his authorization codes, no one else's.
The first director. Just the fact he handled it all alone is one hell of a red flag for security. It'd be easy for him to falsify any data he wanted, considering his position.
Be that as it may, if Chaldea's original director was the one who manipulated her profile.
Yeah, if a guy that high up in the food chain had something he wanted to keep secret about her, we're pretty much SOL. How did AKUTA end up at Chaldea in the first place? Did she actually have enough race shift aptitude to be chosen for Team A? For the matter, who the hell is she really? At this point, I don't know what to believe.
Indeed, everything we thought we knew about AKUTA, Hinako's personal information, is suspect at best. So it wouldn't really be a stretch to imagine she might have a different goal than from the other cryptors. Obviously not. What's more, this goal is evidently more important to her than protecting her Lostbelt or preserving her relationship with its king. One might think eliminating us would be her first priority, but as we've seen, that is even secondary compared to her concern for Zhang Yu, another figure about whom we know next to nothing.
It looks like that name only means anything to those of us from proper human history. In this Lostbelt, he appears to go by something else.
I think he was called that. Something zero. Kuaiji, Well, the quick name.
It's where his uncle started his revolt against the Qin Empire after the Emperor died. You could say it's where Zhang Yu began his career as a warrior.
Regardless of who Zhang Yu may be in this world, the fact remains that he belongs to this Lostbelt. So I cannot fathom why AKUTA HINAKO, who, though nothing else we know about her certain comes from proper human history, would care so deeply about him as to abandon her other goals.
That's one pretty straightforward. She must have fallen in love with him at first sight. The more foolish the woman, the more likely she is to chuck everything away for such silly notions. Careful, Gordy. You're gonna lose any goodwill you may have built up with your female staff. Blah! The only women here are Sarah and Mash. You borderline Lolita! Well, I was certainly disappointed by what you said. So was I. Wait, really?
Now, do try to stay on topic. We still have a mountain of problems that need solving.
All right, we still need to talk to the people who are going to be less than pleased about this.
Who?
Oh, even if it's only temporary, I can't believe I just pretend to make nice with that emperor. Just the thought makes me sick.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Negotiate? Out of the question. That tactic plays right into the oppressor's hands.
Do not be fooled, detective. They will tell you whatever they wish to hear and pressure you into some sort of an alliance, whatever. Given the urgency of Miss Sarah and Gordov's condition, I'm afraid we have no alternative. At minimum, I would like to maintain our truce with Qin until Kaya is securely in our custody. If we could prolong it until AKUTA HINAKO is out of the picture, so much the better. Whatever her reasons for doing so may be, AKUTA HINAKO remains fiercely determined to eradicate us. So much so that she tried to assassinate Miss Sarah in the dead of night against Huang's wishes.
Obviously, AKUTA and
she aren't exactly BFFs at the moment.
But we can't be sure that would last, since there's still a lot we don't know about their relationship. There's every possibility that she may yet convince she to take her side in all of this.
What about defeating she, cutting down the tree of emptiness before Muzik and Master can fall victim to this accursed poison? Should that not be our first priority? Listen closely, Spartacus. At the moment, making an enemy out of all the Empire will only lead to disaster. Right now, Kaya is a wild card who could wreak havoc no matter where she is or whose side she's on. If we don't have an antidote ready to go by the time we face off with she, it will be over before it begins. All the Emperor would have to do is kill Kaya. And Miss Sarah would be saddled with the poison's deleterious effects for the rest of her life. Oof.
Let's not forget that my own life. I don't care.
Yes, ultimately, we need to destroy the Tree of Emptiness and erase this Lostbelt, and to do so, we will inevitably need to face and defeat she. So bear in mind that any applicable relations we appear to have now are a strictly temporary state of affairs.
So you want us to pretend to be friends until we can attack when the Emperor least suspects it, right? Yeah, that's fine. Hell, I used to ask Agravain for advice with that sort of sneaky shit all the time.
I refuse. Acquaintance is the first step to allegiance, and allegiance inevitably leads to subversience. My master must never side with oppression, and always rebel against it. Well, then you can fucking leave. She should rebel against pain, rebel against suffering. I don't care.
Get the goddamn stick out of your ass, would ya? We're playing the long game here, lunkhead. The important part is that we get to destroy the Empire in the end. So why don't you think of all the rebelling you're gonna do to a later as a prize for all the Well, the restraint you gotta show now. I mean, you love repressing your own shit, right?
Are you truly willing to go along with this?
When I tried to assassinate the Emperor before, I lost the moment. I focused on something other than killing killing itself. But I'm not the one leading the attack this time. I get that Sarah has her own way of fighting.
I'm sorry. I know it's a lot to ask.
Well, there's nothing I can do if you're going to plead at me with that helpless look on your face. I mean, you're just now realizing how hopeless your chances are against Zhang Yu, right?
It's getting stuffy in here with so many of us present. I think I'll step out for a bit of fresh air. Why do you look like that?
Huh? Hope just winked at me, Senpai, and Jinkei. What's going on?
I don't know.
What is it, Holmes? Is there something else you wanted to talk to us about?
I thought it would be best if Spartacus were absent for this next part. I trust you to retain your coolness, Jinkei, but let me remind you... pray for using your voice. As long as we whisper, Huang should be unable to hear us. Okay. I've mostly finished my analysis of the benefaction drug, and it's beyond anything I could have imagined. Its psychotropic effects are secondary at most. Its true purpose lies in boosting the immune system, or perhaps I should say, enhancing it to an unfathomable degree. And despite its potency, there are almost no negative side effects as long as one condition remains unmet. It is well beyond what modern medical science could achieve. In fact, I doubt even magecraft from proper human history could create such a drug so effective. It is something that could only be made here, in a Lostbelt where pharmaceuticals and biochemistry are entirely based on sage arts.
Now I see. So it's a mass-produced elixir. And they just hand out something that amazing to every citizen during every major celebration?
Indeed. And as a result, illness and disease have been completely eradicated. Oh. I doubt any of these people have had so much as a cold since they were born.
Then it's a real, actual panacea. Hold on. What's the condition that needs to go unmet for this to work?
Oh yes, that would be old age. Once a person's hormonal secretions have reached a certain level, this drug functions as a... Oh! I estimate to be at least several thousand times more potent than whatever that fucking word is. Hang on. Wouldn't that mean...
Now I see. I thought it was strange that we hadn't seen a single elderly person here.
This is no unintended side effect. It's quite clear that the medicine was designed to work this way.
Designed? And it really is poisoning everyone who takes it? When someone's body secretes a certain amount of hormones, in other words, once their body has aged to a certain point, they just die?
Correct. From our perspective, disturbing a drug like this is no better than mass murder. Still, a case can be made from a Buddhist perspective, and how it views four inevitabilities of human life, namely birth, aging, disease, and death. If one considered both old age and illness equally undesirable, one could say this medicine protects you from the pain of the former and the latter at once. Okay. I cannot say if every word under all possible conditions would eventually arrive at these ethics of pharmaceutical science. But wheat grows where it has been extensively genetically modified into something extraordinary. Its resistance to disease, its yield, everything about it stands leagues above its natural counterpart in proper human history. With a crop like this, one could live their entire life without knowing hunger.
If he ever had to worry about food, he'd probably never even think to take it from someone else.
There's no economy here. No division between rich and poor exists. And all we have seen for ourselves how ignorant they are of war and violence. It seems that life here is far removed from the suffering that one might expect in our world as it is possible to imagine. And when their life has run its course, this drug puts them to sleep permanently, well before they can begin to feel the pain of old age. So what age is that then? What do they deem as the age for that? I dare say that, if nothing else, this world has done a frighteningly effective job of removing people's pain and suffering from people's lives.
But that's still... There's no way for people to live. They're practically being kept as livestock. So this is how that dictator decided to solve humanity's suffering. Makes sense. No way a leader who abandoned their own humanity would in turn treat their subjects like people.
As far as making a decision between this Lostbelt and proper human history, Spartacus claimed that we should fight to determine which should be allowed to survive. If hearing that gave you pause, I would urge you to give the matter more thought, keeping what you know now about this benefit in mind. In this world, the definition of a happy human life is exceedingly simple. I have no choice. ... Seeing as you will need to make this choice sooner or later, I think it's best I suspend my usual behavior in favor of full disclosure. Allow me to share with you some speculation. Do keep in mind that this is not a deduction, but rather a bit of conjecture on my part.
Holmes.
This relates solely to one question, namely, why did the spirit origin graph fail to work with this Lostbelt's ley line?
You think it has something to do with this medicine?
That may not be directly related, but it does support my current hypothesis. Heroic spirits have always been on one side of Allah, mankind's collective unconsciousness. They are defined foremost by their purpose, protecting humanity. While there may be different methods and conditions involved in summoning servants, the one thing they all have in common without exception is responding to the summoner's prayer. True. However, there's not a single person in the world who had the empathetic need to pray for something. And if such a world had flourished unabated for hundreds of years. Right. Then it wouldn't be at all surprising if that world lost its connection to the Throne of Heroes entirely. For that matter, there wouldn't even be any heroic spirits in that world, just like there aren't here. After all, every hero who might be needed to fight someday, like Quinn Lang Yu, is still alive.
So, this Lostbelt is a world that has no need for heroic spirits at all?
Can you imagine a person wishing fervently for anything in the world free from hunger, pain, and suffering, Miss Curiolite? I know you certainly cannot. I know I certainly cannot. Indeed, it only makes sense that servants would never appear in a world where no one wishes for anything.
Thanks for telling us this, Holmes. Whatever doubts I might have had are gone now. I would do everything in my power to take him down and put an end to this disgusting reign. As long as I get there in the end, I don't care how far out of our way we have to go. So right now, let's focus on curing Sarah. Now that I know where I'm going, I can wait as long as it takes. Thank you, Jinkei.
Huh. Interesting. Very interesting.
Progress report?
We should finish a complete scan of the vehicle's interior by morning.
Good. Be careful not to overlook anything. Remember, the future of the Empire rests on your shoulders.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll go see how things are outside. Shadow Border. The product of a world entirely different from ours, huh? Because the moon does not know how to drink. My shadow merely follows the movement of my body. Huh? The moon has brought the shadow to keep me company a while. The practice of mirth should keep pace with spring.
What the fuck are you saying?
What was that, young man? Huh? Oh, it's called a poem. A guy named Li Bai wrote it a long time ago. Who taught you that? Well...
Huh? We see Qin Lang Yu's investigation. It's proceeding smoothly. It feels good to have so much data moving along among our circuits. Do you think you will be able to analyze that otherworldly device, Your Imperial Majesty? Who do you think we are? This holy vessel is full of calculation capabilities, can easily handle a single vehicle. Or so we thought. This is amazing. How could they fit so much functionality into these dimensions? It's hard to believe what we are seeing.
Forgive the intrusion, Your Imperial Majesty, but there's something you should know.
What is this about?
The children in this village are reciting poems.
Okay.
You're kidding! When I asked them about it, they said they'd learned it from Chaldea.
We see. And Chaldean are Confucians. Confucians? I don't know how to say that.
Yes, Your Imperial Majesty. This is undoubtedly the work of Confucianism.
Confucianism, I don't know. Whatever the fuck that word is. Okay. Oh boy. We're probably just made an enemy out of him. Oops. Well guys, we'll have to see where this goes next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this part, and I'll see you guys in whatever Let's Play video I do next is, okay? Bye!